Hey, I'm Rachel Greninger with Red Carpet Report, and tonight we're in Hollywood at the Chinese Theatre for the premiere of Lights Out. Rachel.
I'm Ben. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So you are the film composer.
Correct.
So is that at all different from someone who's doing the score, or is that the key person who does the score? It's all together, right? Correct.
Typically, yeah, we're the people who create the underscore, the music. It's normally played by orchestra or anything else. We're not normally the people who choose the songs, although sometimes that happens. But in fact, in this movie, there aren't any songs.
I didn't figure there would be. That's why a composer is a much bigger role to play. You're scoring the whole thing yourself, correct?
Right, exactly right, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of scores, so that's why I was like, yes, let's have him come over, let's talk to this guy. So what kind of vibe were you going for when you were doing this? Because I've heard from people who've seen it that actually the score is one of their favorite parts of the film, and it really adds to it.
Thank you. Well, that's lovely to hear. Honestly, the thing about this movie which really sets it apart from most horror movies is there's a very powerful family drama element. And the whole story is driven by this really kind of emotional subtext. And it forced me to write thematically, and actually forced me to come up with melodies, which sometimes in horror movies, that's not the key thing. And here's my great friend Eric Heisserer.
And this is the screenwriter.
Indeed, there is.
The guy, the screenwriter. I'm Rachel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Rachel.
So we're just talking about him scoring the whole thing, and how I've heard it's doing great.
Yeah, that's an amazing score.
Well, he created the
I
whole...
love movie scores. And I love horror movies, obviously. So that's yeah.
Well, the score wouldn't be anything like what it is if it wasn't for his story.
It's a collaborative effort, truly, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's just mutual respect going on here.
There's a synergy happening here. You can't feel it, but I can feel it right here.
Yeah.
Is this the first time you guys have worked together? Have you worked together previously?
No, I found him when I directed and wrote a film, Hours. It was one of Paul Walker's last.
Yes, absolutely. The one with the baby, and he has to. I've seen that movie. It's great.
And he wrote the amazing score to that movie.
That score is phenomenal. I went to look for it after I saw the movie.
That's him. That's all.
See, this is why I do what I do, because I love those movies, and so to find out you guys had something to do with it is incredible. So, obviously, I'm going to love Lights Out.
Eric knows how to get people by the neck in terms of emotion, and all we can do as a composer is hope we live up to that.
You're hired. You're hired.
All right, see?
I mean, you could have a job. You could have a job with me. So when when you guys are working together, there's a lot of synergy that has to happen for the narrative to really match the tone that you're composing for. How do you guys do that? I mean, as far as kind of stepping into not having a shorthand initially, how does that work?
I would say my plan has always been to get this man involved as early as possible and as often as possible. If you know if you know your composer is going to be, you get him the script early on. You start sending mood boards. You talk all about how many times I'd send little pieces of music that I'm like, this is good, or little bits of ideas.
Sowing seeds.
And invite your composer to set. If there's one thing I can tell you, invite your composer to set. It's so vital.
I don't know how you couldn't. How would you ever get the tone if you were never there?
I don't know, but
I'm not a composer, so don't hold me accountable. I'm just saying, logistically speaking, that makes sense.
It's so true. I mean, you pick up all these subtleties of tone and what the actors actually went through to create those characters, and that can absolutely inform your approach to the sound.
Well, I was watching Great Gatsby today, and they have a sound that sounds like when you look at the light, the green light. And I thought, so they make inanimate objects have a sound. And I was like, in horror, if you don't know the clacking of the floorboards, you don't know that that's worth integrating into it, which you guys have that in play.
That's right.
So and the lighting I hear is really dope too, because it's tried to be as organic as possible.
Totally.
Yeah, I never forget actually being on Eric's set for hours and actually just seeing the process Paul Walker went through, especially, such honesty and such truth in his character. And I remember actually that one of the key themes that ended up in the movie was literally from just sitting there and just watching his process. It's very unusual. We're lucky enough to be invited to set. But that was, I just remember that distinctively as a real honor to be present at that moment.
That honestly was one of Paul's best movies. I loved him in Running Scared, but he was, that authentic bond, you could tell that he was a father too. And that's what I think made it so moving, because he loves his daughter,
Yeah, absolutely. All of his performance came from a very honest place.
That's the best too, and I think that's what makes horror so good too, because we're all really terrified of unexplainable things. No matter what that may look like to you or to me, we're terrified of that.
Totally. Agreed.
I'm really, really excited. Actually, I had on a list of movies I was stoked to see this summer was Lights Out. So you guys, I know, yay! So last question. You guys actually, it got really good reviews overseas. It was in Thailand for a couple days, and you guys moved up from winter to summer.
Wow, right. I didn't like the only time I knew that we had a date was when it was July 22. So I missed that that amazing little move.
I mean, I read it online. It must be true.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Perfect. Well, I'm really stoked, and I'm super excited just to see where this entire collaboration between the two of you and them go. It's going to be great. I'm super excited.
Creative brothers.
Absolutely.
There's a great synergy going on.
Some big shoes to fill after John Carpenter and everything else. So that's great.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you like what you've seen here, hit like, subscribe, and in the comments below, tell me what your favorite scary movie is.